Hello everybody, welcome. Today we're gonna do a little guide slash tutorial. Basic one. We'll do advanced one also, advanced guide, but for today we're gonna do this one. So basic survival guide. Some tips are written here, but I'm gonna explain you this in fairly simpler way than this, so you don't have to read it. Now first thing we need to address is a couple of things. Here you can turn off and on your inventory. Here is your inventory. Here is a thing which is near you, so currently it's floor, but if we move near these dead zombies, you see we can pick through them and take any of their stuff or whatever. So there can be like, I can also access mailbox or whatever. There is a million things in this game where which you can use to store things and so on. Now we come to the main panel. It is this one. So first, this is your character, your profession, and your traits, depending on what you have started with. I have started with mechanics. His main advantage is he knows all about vehicles, and you don't have to use skill magazines to learn how to repair certain types of vehicles, but we'll get to them. Now next is skills. So we have fitness, basically for running, strength for adding damage to fighting, and also carry weight. So you will see here 18 is our maximum carry weight. We can carry over it, but we'll get another debuff here. Let's overweighted or extremely overweighted or whatever. Every buff influence you in some way. Now we have agility things like sprinting, self-explanatory, light-footed. It's let's say addition to the sneaking. Nimble, it's for skipping fences, jumping over walls, going through the broken windows and so on. Sneaking, self-explanatory. Now we have combat skills. All of this, except maintenance, are used for weapons. So the more you use skill, the more it will acquire experience. Every dot will bring you something additionally, whether it's some kind of ability, more damage or whatever. So as you can see, we have axes, long blunt and short blunt. These are excellent weapons because they have high chance of knockback. Long blades, here is katana where it fits. If you have multi-hit option check at the start of the game, you can hit up to 3 person with the katana. It is one of the best games. Short blade. Now, short weapons are good in situations where you have to go in the dark. So I'm using like hammer, and I can press F button and turn on any source of light. As you can see, I have flashlight in the other hand. You can press F to turn it on and off, so you can save battery. So this is great for combat in some situation when it's dark and you're inside, when the electricity goes on and so on. Maintenance, it is connected to all the weapons. This affects how much durability you lose. So the more this skill has dots, the less durability you will lose per hit, and also it will be easier to repair it. Carpentry for making doors, making furniture, barricades, whatever. Cooking, self-explanatory. Farming also, there is a great farming system in this game. You can even farm indoor. You can go on the roof and take some dirt from here, go on the roof and make farm on the roof. Now where we're first aid also, the harder the skill, the more you will patch yourself up and so on. Electrical for using all kind of electrical appliances. Metalworking, as you can see here, I have barricaded this through the metalworking. Mechanics is for using the cars, I will show you that a little later. Tailoring is for sewing and stuff. And masonry, this is put through skill, through mod, for making brick walls and so on. This is for using firearms, so you have basically aiming. You'll do firearms, so you press right and just click left and it will shoot. There are many different kind of weapons. You can even have attachments for weapons and so on. So basically you can take a shotgun and saw it and have a short shotgun. And we have a survivalist, fishing, self-explanatory, trapping also. Forging is something special in this game. So when you press this little button here and enable forging, we will move around the map and we can find different kind of plants or things that are hidden from the side. The higher the skill, the more chance you have to find something. Now next column is health. So this is where as you can see, I'm wounded and the bandage is dirty, so we'll remove it. Medical skill is affected to this. Okay, we don't have wound, but whenever you have wound, you can disinfect it. You can, depending it's a multiplayer gunshot or it's a bite from a zombie or whatever. You have abilities to stitch yourself, to bandage yourself, to this. Lots of things are in this game are fairly deep, but we'll get into more details about every category in the advanced guide. Now, next thing is protection. Every piece of clothing here has certain things, like you can see condition, insulation, wind resistance, bloody, how much blood it has on it. You can wash it. It can infect your wounds if you have, like, say, bloodied the shirt and you have wound that need it. And all these parameters can be affected through sewing or just washer. You don't have to wash it by hands. You can use machine or whatever. This can disinfect your wound. Also, you can use like things like bourbon, whiskey, if you don't have this available. There are million of items. Now, which bring us to the temperature. So this game has seasons. It will affect you. So like basically here you will have all your debuffs. You can get like sweaty and go outside when it's cold and not be dressed good, and you will get sick and you can die even from it if you don't cure it at the time. There are different kind of medicines and stuff you can implement in the game, you can use in the game. Now let me show you a few more things. First thing we're gonna address is these debuffs here. Now one thing I would suggest you see I have crouched when I'm moving. Every time when you're moving, do it the crouch, except when you're in safe zone. We are now, but I'm just showing because this game, at my opinion, more about sneaking and fighting, because zombies can scratch you just one, infect you, and you will die. So it's better to sneak and have higher sneaking skill. But now let's talk about food, since we are hungry, very hungry, and ridiculously tired. So we're gonna address these two. There are three types of food. Basically, there's a fresh food, as you can see here. It can go stale. There is also so this is in a refrigerator, but there's also freezing system. As you can see, it's frozen. Fresh means it's just item that is classified as a fresh. There is also in cooking additions. Some of these things must be used to make some recipes. Also, some recipes must be acquired to books. You don't have them at the beginning. There are seasons, so you can add different kind of things to your meals when you cook. And also there are different things like okay, there are drinks obviously, but there are different things like canned food and so on. So there are three different kind of food: perishable, non-perishable, and seasons. Now let's move to the next category. What is books? Books are one of the most important things in the game. You have two different kind of books. I have three because I have mods. These black books will affect your fighting skills mainly, but you don't have that in the main game. But we have things like farming. As you can see, every book comes in 5 levels, and every skill. So first level 2 dots, second level 2 dots, and so on. So when I'm for third, when I fill this, let's say, second bar, I use book level 2 for third and fourth dot. It's simple as that. And besides that, there is one very important thing. It is skill magazines, like this. So this allows me to make a fishing rod, but there are some which allows you like this to make certain foods. This is from the mods, but just showing an example. Also, there are, as you can see, there are many, but majority of these are from the, I will say again, from the mod. But let's say this one and this one are not. So you can learn to make many items this way if you're searching for the books. So keep your eyes open. You can also raid library. Now let's talk about map a little bit. My suggestion: when you start the game, you will be presented with a map. Map is huge. It has like we're at the West Point. Here is a Milberg. We have a Riverside here. We have a Rosewood here, and we have a Louisville here, which is the biggest city. There are also mods which add more towns and so on. But basically, I have started with the Fog of War. You can start with the whole map scene. Also, you can, if you have pencil in your inventory, depending on what color your pencil you use. Also, you can have a eraser to erase if you're not implementing like pen, but you're using pencil, you can erase markers. So basically you can click and mark every location where you have searched it, where is your base and so on, where you have left some good supplies. Map has a legend of its own, so yellow buildings are mostly commercial buildings, where you green buildings when you can build where you can acquire different kind of tools and many stuff. Black buildings are warehouses, mainly for also tools, but you can get here some if you food. Blue buildings are like fire station, police station, so communal buildings. And this one, this color, I cannot remember what. Yellow ones are for like stores with food and so on. So basically that is the whole thing about the map. As I said, you can mark everything up. Now, besides all of these things, you have ability to use weapons in this game. You have melee weapons, as we discussed, and you have a range weapon. I'm going to show you some of the melee weapons. So as you can see here, we're going to make one fighting guide to ease your life, because fight is a big part of this game. But basically you have two-handed weapons like bats, katanas, axes and so on. And you have one-handed weapons, like axes, knives, machetes, everything do different kind of damage. Some can knock back, some cannot. You can also use every tool as a weapon. You can even use things like pans or knives for bread. They don't use much damage, but they're in a pinch they can be used, especially in multiplayer when you get to the server where everything is taken. Now, one thing I want to help you guys with is you have these things, like you have belt where you can equip 2 items. You have first slot for a weapon you're carrying in your hand, and you have hostler where you can put like 2 pistols or whatever. If you have, let's say, you can change this order, so you want, as you can see, number 1 bring us when you press key 1, when you press key 2, so it is the shortcuts, you will pick up it. But you say we want to have a gun at the 2nd slot, not in 4th slot. All you have to do is this, drop your belt, and it will move there now from the floor. I just wear it, and as you can see, now it is here. You have to put things on it, but it is fairly easy. Also, you can swap the position of the bags or whatever it this way. Now all I have to do is again press attach. I want to attach to the left, let's say. Screwdriver is in my hand, so I'm gonna attach it to the... Okay, and it's simple as that. So that is one of the things that annoyed me for a lot of time. Now let's talk a little bit about crafting. When you press right button, you will be presented with 2 crafting menus from metalworking and carpentry. Also, this is from the mods, but as I said, you can install or not. The more skills and skill books you read, as you can see, I don't have anything to build through metalworking because my skill is low, and I haven't read any recipe magazine. But I'm not bad at woodworking, so as I said, the more you learn, the more stuff you will have. But you can build like frame for the wall, and then you can attach to it either wall, door, or whatever. You can build floors, you can build whole buildings, multiple stores, you can install lightings, pipings, everything is this game is functional. We have electricity at the moment. Electricity and water will run out at some time, but you can use generator outside the building to supply your building with electricity, and also you can use different kind of methods to gather water. You can like make a water tower and rain collectors at the top and plumb it to the sinks, and you will have water at your sinks. So you click, you can, as you can see, we have bottle at the inventory. We can fill it, we can drink water, we can wash something. We have multiple type. There is many things you can do with different kind of objects. As you can see, electrical, we can turn it on, or we can use, let's say, where are the options for this? Just give me a second. cannot. Some devices have options. Just let me see. Here it is, settings. So as you can see how detailed it is. And every appliance you can listen to music, watch TV. If you're using mod, you have incredible amount of things you can do. Also, one tip, if you're like, this is your say house and it's all around with the zombies, I would suggest you to put one sledgehammer near the stairs. You can pick up sledgehammer and destroy the stairs and they won't be able to climb up. Then you just open like a window and put the rope down and just climb and run away. Now, when you're sneaking, one more tip. When you enter the building, try to close all the curtains because sounds, light and everything attracts zombies. So it is a good idea to always, before start robbing house, seal your windows and everything. As for fights, we're gonna do one guide, sorry, about the combat, especially, maybe tomorrow morning. I want to show you now the tools. So there are multiple kind of tools, but majority of tools you need is a saw. It's for carpentry and basically you can break with saw and hammer almost everything. And I carry a screwdriver with me. These three tools will allow you to manipulate majority of objects, to destroy them, pick them up or whatever. You can, as I said, click here, here and pick up any object. It requires us certain amount of carpentry to do this, and also this container has items, so we need to unload it first. Click here, just pick everything up and draw it to the floor and it will be empty. Before we move to the trucks, I want to show you something about the inventory. So basically this line here represents, beneath it is what you're wearing on yourself. So I'm holding this on my hands. I have a watch which allows me to, you can use jewelry, different kind of things. I can even set alarm on this watch to wake me up. Also I have a bulletproof vest, I have different kind of gear. Above it are the things that you're holding in your pockets and so on. If you skip this line, it will overcumber you. It will overcumber you. So you're using the backpacks of different kinds. You can also click and rename them if you want. Wear them on like these packs on the front, on the back, and whatever. But when I'm using the bag, let's say this bag has 36 carry weight. And also when you look in your main inventory, which is here, this little box, you can put it on a backpack and you will see it has a reduction of 87%. So everything you put inside will be 87% of reduction. But you will transfer it more slowly from the bag than from your inventory. Keep that in mind. Now, let's talk a little bit about vehicles. Mechanics is directly correlated with this, and this is a big part of your game. When you open, press E button when you're in front of the vehicle and you will see all the stats. Now, some vehicles you cannot modify until you read certain magazines, but I'm a mechanic and I can do everything at the moment. All you have to do is press right button on anything you want. Okay, let's not use engine, like say tire. We can deflate tire, inflate tire, we can uninstall them. When I take off the tire, I can use it to like remove brakes and stuff. Also here is your engine. When you crash your cars too many times and the hood breaks, it will start breaking your engine. So try to keep this piece especially in a good condition. All you have to do is repair it. You need a metal sheet and you need some screws, a little bit of mechanics and a little bit of metal working. Also you can like uninstall a radio and put a better one in. It really affects when you go into the game. Now two of the things I want to show you is this vehicle is from the mod, but the principle is the same. Now we have access here. We're gonna select the truck and you can see he has a large trunk. You can put a lot of stuff in here. As you can see, I have like, let's say I'm gonna show you this. We wanna put these shells together. Okay, we're gonna need one, so we have two here. You can click like this and just move one back. Okay, we want a second part. Again, click here, we're gonna draw just one. And all you have to do is click and place it somewhere you want. We're gonna place it, let's say. Now when you're placing things, hold left button and you can rotate objects like this. It is also something which took me some time to find out. Besides the trunk, it will be good to find some vehicle soon because it will carry a lot of stuff for you. Now let's get into the vehicle. Some vehicles can be locked, but you can always use this, right? Click and smash window, then you can enter it without problem. Now in the vehicle, as you can see, there's no key here. It has been hot-wired. Main key for the vehicle is V. It will open up this circular menu. When you can use horn, you can switch seats like this, so I can go to the second place. Also there is a Z, is a shortcut for that, because in a pinch you will need it sometimes. Zombies will... You can sleep in vehicle, which is very good. There is, as you can see, you can play your radio here. You can change frequencies and so on. There are different kind of radio stations, but this is the thing I wanted to show you. This is where you hotwire your engine. You need 2 mechanics and 1 electrical, so keep that in mind, and then you can still every vehicle you wanna. Now, let's talk about a few more things. First thing is the weather. Now, the weather in this game can be, mainly it is okay, but winter comes, you need different clothing. You will have fogs, you will have heavy rains, you will have different kind of weather events, and I would suggest you, whenever it's night and bad weather especially, move inside and wait for the morning, especially if you're starting the game, because it is very low visibility and you can get pretty much screwed that way. So now, first thing I want to say, when you start this game, pick some location. It doesn't matter, it doesn't have to be large like this. You can start at any house. Find the bag and find hammer, screwdriver and saw. Then you can do basically anything. If you find X, it is good because you can press right button and come near to the tree. I'm hitting you with the crowbar, but mechanics is same, and the tree will fall. Leave 2 logs. Then you just right click on the logs. Let's say this is log. Right click and it will open, if you have a saw in your inventory, it will open options saw logs, and then you can saw it for planks. As you can see, there are 2 different kind of barricades. There are carpentry barricades, through carpentry, you need 4 planks, and there are metal ones. Metal ones are better, they have higher amount of hit points, but they require only 1 metal sheet, which is good, and this requires 4 planks. Also, one good tip, whenever you close the window like this, seal it, you can also seal it from the other side, put another plate, and you will have a, let's say, double protection from it. You can also right click and unbarricade it with everything. For metalworking you will need a welding mask and blowtorch. You can also build doors, as you can see here. I have built door. You can barricade this door. Any door can be barricaded except large garage doors. So let's say I have this, I don't want them to wander in here. I just barricade these doors and I will use these doors for an entrance. Now, as I was saying, first thing you need to do is pick a crib, fortify it, try to go during the day, don't fight many zombies, fight only few of them at a time. Also, it is good idea to put a fence around your property. I'll show you now. We'll climb the top of the building because it is a better view. There is a vent, a helicopter vent, which will bring a lot of zombies from all around at your base. So when you won't be able to fight them in such a quantity, you'll have to pick them, but they will wreck your base. So instead of that happening, all you have to do is use a little bit carpentry and you can build fence like this. As you can see here, I don't have a line of sight, but everything you see here basically is fenced, it has fence over it. As you can see in the bottom left corner, there are part of fence which I haven't finished yet. And that's basically that. Keep your character away. Also, this will happen if you carry too much, if you don't sleep too much, and so on. So keep your character in good condition. Try to avoid them fighting, at least at the start, as much as you can. Sneak around, fortify your crib, get some good car with a solid uh, capacity, trunk capacity, and you're good to go. Everything else will be learned over the way, over during the, let's say, learning curve. So I will make one advanced video about combat, about some mechanics that are more tricky, but basically this is all you have to, let's say, know about the basics so you can play the game. So guys, I hope you found this helpful. If so, like, share and subscribe. It helps us a lot, and also will keep you in loop with the newest content. So guys, see you all and have fun.